I mentioned before, youth unemployment was at 9.6% in November, making it a good time to be a young person looking for work. Well, let's find out. Sue Ellson is a career expert. Sue, good afternoon to you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Shane.
Is it a good time for high school students and those who have just finished VCE to be getting a job?
I would absolutely agree, yes, indeed. And because the more work experience you get before you get into any type of work in the future, the better it is for you. And a lot of the people who've just finished secondary school have had a lot of time working from home and haven't had those opportunities to socialise. So even better if it's something people facing.
There's often a divide when it comes to, should my child as a teenager get a job, or should they focus on their studies and complete VCE without any distraction? Is one better than the other, or is it important for a bit of life balance for teenagers?
Well, I guess it really depends on the student more than anything else. In terms of future employability, it's going to be much better if they have a mix of experience. So that might mean study, but also sports, hobbies, interests, clubs, work. It's a number of different things. So when I was involved in a graduate recruitment program for a major bank, we actually assessed people's applications on multiple factors, right down to the fact, did they play a team sport like football or tennis, which is more of an individual sport. So, yeah, there's lots of factors in there. But I guess from the young person's perspective, having a little bit of extra cash would be nice as well.
The jobs at McDonald's and Hungry Jack's or at Safeway and Coles, are they still the most popular jobs amongst young people, or are young people getting a little bit more picky?
Well, I wouldn't be able to say specifically because there's no data on that I could actually quote. But what I can say has changed is the type of work that's available.
Yep.
So in the past, it might have been just that type of retail job in your local area. You might have seen a sign on a shop window, or your friend got a job at McDonald's and you got invited in, or you filled out a Snaplication on Snapchat for a job at McDonald's. But now you can do a lot of different things, so a lot of gig-type jobs. And so the advantage that a lot of the digital natives have is they like editing videos and preparing social media posts and doing all that sort of thing. So they could get their own tax file number and become independent contractors and be, providing services to local businesses. They could be putting themselves on platforms like Weploy, AirTasker or Service Seeking and picking up gigs directly themselves and setting themselves up for either an ongoing freelance business type of arrangement or, just something that's flexible that they can manage at a reasonable rate.
It's a great idea, and I didn't even think, of course, so many of these jobs now could still be done from home. So if you had a couple of hours on the weekend, you could do some of these jobs from home, as you talk about video or sound editing, whatever it might be, and then get on with your homework and your studies. Well,
if they can use technology and they charge per task completed, if they can use the tech, it might take them 5 minutes to complete it, but they might charge, $50 or $100 each time. So they're going to be able to manage to, get a far better income than a low wage worker. The only thing that I do get a little bit anxious about is there's a lot of videos on social media saying, yes, if you sign up for this and do that and you multiply it by this number of people, it's the old multi-level marketing that we knew back in the day. But some of them get sucked into these things, but they're not real jobs. So that's the only thing I'd be against.
So just before I let you go, is it important for, again, teenagers or high school graduates to get jobs actually in a workplace, again, talking retail, Maya, whatever it might be, to get the social skills of working in a workplace as well? So it's all well and good to sit at home, do the video editing or the sound editing or proofreading, whatever it might be, but to get a job in an actual workplace where you are working with other people, you have a designated roster and the like.
I definitely gained value out of doing that. My first job was a babysitter and I didn't get much exposure to people apart from young children, and that wasn't much help in the workforce. But I think another issue that faces a lot of young people is climate change and advocacy and all that sort of thing. So if they're still getting out and about and doing some of that activity as well as this other work, then that might be another way that they can still get exposure to actually dealing with people and learning communication skills. We're all taught to read and write. We're not necessarily taught how to speak and listen. So you could definitely pick up those skills if you were people-facing and, turning up somewhere on a regular basis. You can also make great friends. You could consider going to a regional area that's really busy during the holidays and, spending half the day in the job serving people and the other half doing the sights and sounds of the local area. So there's plenty of options around.
Sue, it's some great ideas in there. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Shane.
Sue Ellson, career expert. All right, so how old